Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching Big Bear TV on this new program we call Big Bear Boulevard, where we're following what's happening with businesses all across Big Bear Valley. Today we have Megan Felkins, who is going to be one of my new favorite people because, as you know, I love animals, and I have a feeling she might as well. Welcome, Megan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Canine to equine.
Therapeutics, yep.
Doggies to horsies.
Yes, cover them all.
And therapeutics. So a lot to learn about here. So what's the therapeutics about?
So I offer therapeutic options or outlets for horses and dogs. So craniosacral therapy, massage therapy. I also have a PEMF device, that's pulsed electromagnetic frequency, and a cold laser. So anything to help them kind of rehab their body from an injury or dealing with trauma. I get a lot of, clients who have had trauma in their past. They're rescue dogs, rescue horses, and they're storing trauma inside their body. And I help them release that and get them out of their sympathetic nervous system, the fight and flight, and into their parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and digest.
Wow. That sounds exciting. So to start, I have 4 dogs, a cat, and 4 chickens.
Okay.
And my sister-in-law, I grew up on a farm where we have horses.
All right.
So I'm familiar with both. But I have just to start throwing things at you, I have a Maltese who has diabetes and Cushing's disease and is beginning to experience neuropathy. Is that something you work on?
Yeah, we definitely.
Like pain?
Yes, yeah, for sure. So, obviously veterinarian care is your primary go-to. So, I like to target more like a holistic approach to those things. So, obviously diabetic. So she's insulin, or he is insulin,
Spencer.
he needs the insulin and those care. So I don't do the medical side of it as much as the holistic approaches and the trauma and dealing with kind of helping them deal with the ailments that
He's starting to have the leg pain.
Sure.
So he's licking his paws, which is new. So I knew it had the potential to happen the longer he's alive. So I'm very vigilant in making sure we know his blood sugar and his insulin and all of that. And now he has the cataracts, so it's just becoming worse. But he still loves to run around and be a part of everything and bark at everything. So the quality of life is still there.
That's great.
And I've been thinking about, actually, if there was somebody who could provide some kind of therapeutics to his feet.
Sure.
He has really messed up paws. When we adopted him, we think he fell out of a car. Yeah. You'll see when you'll be like, that's his paw. It's like a knob. Yeah, so we know there's a lot going on in there.
Yeah. So just increasing the blood flow through massage, and then the craniosacral is more of the trauma recovery, and that's really, really light touch, and we can make minor adjustments. So you have dura mater, which is the gray matter between the spinal cord and the spinous process. And when there's trauma inside your body, the dura mater gets kind of kinked. If you think of it like a hose. So the craniosacral fluid is not flowing from your sacrum to your cranium. It's not checking in every 6 seconds without having kinks. So we use really light touch to bring attention and awareness to the animal's tension where they're holding the trauma and release that. And then the craniosacral fluid can flow more, flow with fluidity, if you will, through that area and kind of heal the trauma that they're holding.
So like when I touch, if I touch Rudy, my dog, he loves it. If I touch Spencer, just the lightest touch, there's a lot going on.
It's uncomfortable for him, for sure.
So that's something you would look at?
I could definitely look into it. Yeah, I'd obviously want to see his vet records and stuff like that. But sounds like he may be more of a candidate for the craniosacral to kind of, he's uncomfortable. The sensation of being touched is uncomfortable. I can't take away that, but I can kind of help him process what's going on inside his body. And
how many people can say that? I can help your dog process what's going on in their body. I'm like, sign me up.
And it's great to see the responses. Like the horses are really responsive, dogs too. So everything comes out of them. Like if we're getting a massage, we might breathe deeply or sigh or moan. Horses and dogs, they do like a non-nutritive licking and chewing. They yawn. You get blinks. So it's
Well,
rewarding.
how'd you get so smart?
I went to school.
Oh, wow. Neat. So you went to school for this?
I did, yeah. So
Tell us about that.
5 certifications. I went to school for the myomanipulative functional therapist, which is massage, basically, for equines. And then I added on the craniosacral therapy. And then after that, I decided, you know what, I really enjoy this with dogs, or with horses. I wanted to add this to our dog community. We have a lot of dogs up here, and people, not that people don't connect with their horses, but people are kind of, there's like a next level with dogs. They eat off your plates or, you know, lick your face, and they sleep in your bed. And a lot of people, these are their children.
Do you have cameras
So-
in my home? Like, who told her?
So then after I had those certs, I added on the same certifications, but for canine. And then,
Wow, you're kind of cool.
So thank you.
I wish I dated women. No, but, so that's Spencer. And then I have Opie.
Okay.
So Opie is a recent release from the shelter, and he is just scared of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what happened to him.
Right.
What I was told is he was a part of a house up here that had 15 dogs, all siblings. So they just kept birthing them and didn't know how to get rid of them. And what they would do is throw food in the backyard, and all the dogs would have to fight for their food. So
He could benefit from some trauma therapy. Too.
yeah, I don't know. And,
For
you
sure.
know, great.
Yeah.
It sounds great.
Yeah, because he's basically stuck in fight or flight. More so flight is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anything to do with anybody. It's just easier to remove himself from the situation because
Right.
it's scary. So it's kind
I
of
can't-
just rebuilding the
I
trust.
put on the harness.
Mhm.
He collapses on the floor. I don't know if it's because he doesn't know what it is. I want to take him on a walk because he sees all of us walk away. He's like, he stands at the gate.
What about
Why
me?"
can't I go? Because when I put the leash on you, he collapses. When I take the, you know, he sees the harness coming, he'll go and hide under the deck just to prevent whatever, he doesn't know what's going to happen.
Right, right.
So it's just, I'm to the point where I agreed to get the dog out because they were going to kill him because of the fear. And, I'm like, why would you kill a dog
Sure.
just because it's afraid?
Well, and it's not his fault. You put him in this situation. He's just surviving in the...
Yeah, the best he knows how
Yeah.
to do. And so I thought, I'm going to get him out and find him a home, but no one, like, I can't do that to somebody because the average Joe doesn't work from home. You know, they're probably going to take him back to the shelter.
Or put him through more trauma unnecessarily. Not purposefully, you know.
So how would you work with a dog like that?
I would
Who's
do
just
trauma
terrified?
therapy. Yeah, trauma therapy. So
So you have a
have to build
conversation?
trust. Sort of, yeah. A lot of it's telepathy, really. More so with the horses. I'm getting there with the dogs, and I do have glimpses of that. It kind of depends on the dog in general, and sometimes they do better without their owners there.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it's like telepathy. I'm reading their body language, seeing what they're okay with, what they're not okay with.
Okay, you're saying telepathy and people are thinking you're goofy.
I know.
So
I am
what's-
weird. I'm
But
gonna
I do kind of believe, like, my mom and I have this telepathy, and she's halfway across the United
Yep.
States.
Yeah.
She'll call me and go, are you
Why
are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you do this? Like, how do you know when I'm sad? You know, she's like, I'm your mother.
Yeah, it takes a person who's really attuned with their own feelings and then being able to, you know, take on others. So, in regards to Opie, I would suggest the trauma therapy, but it's going to take some time for him to trust that I'm there to benefit him.
Right.
You know, I can't just go up to him and touch him. I mean, that's not what he wants. So it's kind of just a building block, seeing what he'll give and what he can take from me, you know? So,
Right. What he loves, what's interesting is, I'm the only person, he'll come up to me, he wants head massages.
Okay.
I mean, he
He's a
knows
safe
what he
person.
wants.
You're his safe person.
Yeah.
Sure.
And, he talks to me.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And I talk back. Your name is Opie. But, so there's hope for him?
Yeah,
maybe?
definitely.
Wow.
For him. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it's not a one and done. These trauma work, just like trauma work for us, it's building blocks.
I mean, if I could just get him to walk on a leash,
Sure.
you know, I'm not ready to have him full time.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if I can help him to where someone else might be able to take him on.
Mm-hmm.
I've buried 11 dogs since 2017. So I'm just not, I can't. So I adopt a lot of sick older dogs. And I thought, oh, you know, you hear a lot of people say that. Like, oh, I want to, when I can start a rescue, I'm going to save all the old dogs. I'm like, that was me. So now I'm on the other side of that. I'm like, yeah, but you got to bury all those dogs.
It's traumatic for you too.
Yeah. And I can't do, I'm 54. So, you know, I'm looking at, you know, I just adopted a cat who could live 20 years. That'll be 74.
Sure.
You know, so
It's a long
I'm
time
starting to
commitment.
look at my commitments and like I can't take on too many commitments. So anyway, so how do you price something like this?
Well, my price is up here for the first meeting. I always suggest a massage. I wouldn't suggest that for Opie. So like maybe Spencer, as a massage and evaluation. So that's got a set price. Do you want me to tell my prices?
Yeah.
Okay. So my set price for a massage.
You can say ranges if you don't want to, I don't know how you work, but.
Well, on the mountain's a lot different than having to travel off the mountain too, for time and gas and energy
Right.
and all that. So, but up here in Big Bear, I charge $125 for, that's your first visit. It's a massage and evaluation. It's usually about an hour and a half. And then moving forward, any massage that you book after, that's $100. Craniosacral, I charge, $85. And that can take anywhere from, say, 20 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes.
This is Rudy.
Hi, Rudy. So I'm working on each, like, with craniosacral therapies, you don't move to the next release point until they release. So some can take 5 minutes to release, let's say, cervical 2. I'm not going to move on to cervical 3 until they release. So it can be time variation. And then cold laser, the PEMF device are just add-ons. So
Do those things really work?
I believe they do. I've used the cold laser on myself. I've used it on my son. It's targeting the mitochondria, so the powerhouse of the cell. And so you're doing cellular repair at that level. I had a soccer injury in my back, and I used that cold laser on me. The thing with the cold laser, you have to use it consistently.
Right.
So
they sell gadgets on like Amazon.
Sure.
I bought some of them. Some of them flash. You know, some of them are industrial strength. They're all different.
Yeah, there's infrared and there's cold laser.
Right.
And the PEMF, I believe works too. It has 52 protocols on there. I bought 2, so so I can use it on my animals and myself. So, and that's interesting. That's resonant frequency. Rudy's getting crazy over there.
He's our active studio audience here. He's like, you're talking about a lot of stuff.
So that's actually puts out a frequency, an electromagnetic field frequency through your body, through the water in your body to recalibrate whatever ailment or protocol you're running.
You said that how long have you been working with dogs?
With dogs, I've been certified for, I think 18 months now.
Okay.
And with horses, a little over 2 years.
So how'd you get involved in this? I mean, how'd you wake up and go, I'm going to work on animals with telepathy?
I think I've always been working with horses in general, more on an energetic level, telepathy, breath work, a lot of breath work and I kind of just like realized like, okay, I kind of have this calling, this ability to do these with the animals. I've had horse owners go like, how are you doing this with my horse? You know, they're the owner who sees their horse day in and day out. And here I am, this stranger who's having this really intimate, vulnerable.
Horse whisperer.
I kind of am. So,
you say that in a way that I want to believe you. That's good. That means you believe it.
I do. I really do. And I've had real life experiences that can back it up. So, and I've had owners come and be like, whoa. Okay, what's going on? You know, and it's really interesting when you're working with a horse to have them turn and they not necessarily sniff, but they point and they look and they are looking into your hands to see what are you using? What is happening? Because they feel the energy, the chi or whatever you want to call it coming out of my body and my soul. And I care so deeply for these animals and I want to give them relief from their trauma. So you asked me how I got into it. I've gone through some traumatic events myself, struggled with PTSD, and found that, these horses are just these magical animals that are helping us co-regulate. I mean, a horse can hear your heartbeat from 4 feet away.
Wow.
So, and a lot of co-regulation is going on where they've done studies where they put a heart rate monitor on a human and a heart rate monitor on a horse, and they, let them be near, and all of a sudden, let's say you're anxious and your heart's doing this and the horse's heart's thumping at a normal beat. All of a sudden you co-regulate and your heartbeat syncs up. So there's a lot of healing powers within the horse themselves. And so
I'm as you're talking, I'm thinking of when I go back home and I go out on the farm, and a horse, you kind of approach it, and then you can see it actually think, like, am I going to approach this person or not?
Yeah.
It's like they're reading you.
They are. They absolutely
and
are.
they always come up to me, and, I'll put my head on their head, and
Great.
you can feel it.
Yes.
Like something happening. And it's always funny, like they'll either follow you if you start to walk away, because I'm like, oh, you like
They want more.
Yeah. But I could always feel them experiencing me, and it was definitely mutual.
Sure.
So that's weird to hear you actually say that, because I think it's something people don't talk about.
Or they take for granted, or they don't realize it's happening. Yeah.
You're
You kind of
so cool.
You kind of got to tune into yourself and like, how am I feeling? Like,
yeah.
Oh, wow, I feel really calm and good and strong, and, thank you, animal, for giving me this. Or
And I think that happens with dogs too.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs are always, I'm around them all the time. And you learn how they care for each other as a pack.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up in the morning, they all go start smelling everybody because they want to know how everybody's doing.
Yeah, that's how they smell, like your pheromones or your mood and your,
And they know they know I'm leaving the house before I do anything. So my friends are here today, and like, I have to sit on the couch just going, if I make a move, they know I'm going, my mom won't know that. No one else in the house knows, but the dogs are tuned in.
Yeah, they have like sixth sense. And, you were going to say something I was going to,
the horses?
No, about the dogs. Darn, I lost the thought. It'll come back.
Oh, it's just about how they all care for one another.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, so we have talk therapy. We have, EMDR. We have, there's all these different therapeutic options for us as humans, but what do animals have? That we come home from a bad day at work, sit on our couch, we pet our dog. That energy is going into them and they have to process it on their own. Well, why not give them an option to help them process the heaviness that we put into them? They're always there. They're always smiling. They're always happy. And then for the most part, but to give them an option or an outlet to do the trauma work that they have to store and deal with. They can't go to talk therapy. So give them, or maybe they can, I don't know. It feels a little bit like they do.
Excuse me. What, you just want to pick her brain, don't you? And ask her lots of questions. But, I could talk to you for hours about dogs and just the telepathy part. So in Big Bear, tell us about who you've been working with. I know there's a huge horse community up here. Are you working with a lot of those clients, or where are you finding success right now?
More so in the horse community. I think just based on that's where I kind of started, and I ride a little bit myself and stuff. So, I'm just trying to get my name and what I'm doing out there. So I go out to like the Bear Valley. There's boarding facilities out here. Obviously Shea closed, but, a little bit of word of mouth, the women, this or that.
Right,
and I post stuff on social media so they can see. I'm trying to do more educational stuff. Anytime I meet with a client, I'm always like, hey, look right here. Look at how he's, so I'm trying to educate the horse owner, dog owner, whoever it is, so that they can implement it into their daily life too. So, I'm just trying to get be more out there and let people
Well,
know.
maybe
that
the horses are
this.
talking.
I swear they are. They do, because I've had them, they'll co-rate. I worked on a gelding the other day, and his mare, his stallmate, was right next door, and she just came out and stood right next to you. You could see she actually was releasing about the same time he was. So she was actually feeling the therapeutic benefit I was giving him through her body.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah. So
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We need to do a follow-up on this interview and
Sure.
show you out in the field doing what you do.
Yeah, the videos are great because a lot of the horses will yawn, and it's like so cool to see a horse. I mean, their mouths are huge, and and their eyes are like, they kind of just roll back in their head a little bit, where the dogs are like, they'll open up and just.
So where's this going for you? So, what do you want to do with this? Do you want to expand it? Do you want to become a teacher?
I'd like to do, more clinic stuff, teaching like horse and dog owners how to be doing what I'm doing
Right.
when I'm not there.
Because there's definitely an audience outside of Big Bear.
Sure. Yeah, I'm actually going to be a vendor down in Riverside on Saturday at like a walk for animals down there. So there's like a 5K walk. So they asked me to come down. I was like, Riverside's kind of far. I don't want to step on anybody's toes. And they're like, we have nobody doing this down here. Please come.
There's so many people that do what you do. Not.
Yeah. So I'll go down there.
Trust me, don't be afraid of stepping on toes. I just don't think there's very many of what you do out there.
Right.
So if someone's watching right now and they're thinking, I wonder if my dog would benefit from what she does. Like, who are the pet owners out there that should call you?
Just people who are attuned to like how their dog's feeling, like dogs that are hiking a lot. I mean, just like us, if I go out and hike Cougar Crest, the next day I'm probably going to be sore. My muscles need recovery time. So we're asking a lot of our animals, whether we're asking them to hike with us or swim in the lake. So active dogs, elderly dogs. I see a lot of hip dysplasia. So kind of like trying to catch it before it gets bad so they're not taking pills the rest of their life.
Right.
I mean, there's ways to be, if you're proactive enough, then you can be preventative enough in a way. So, let's see, who else?
Symptoms, hip dysplasia.
Yeah, or mood,
pain.
behavioral issues. There's some dogs that are like, like a trauma dog. Like, hey, I rescued this dog, but like he doesn't let this and this. Or I've had a dog who had some lipomas removed, and they didn't put drain. Anyways, he ended up having to be hospitalized because of the lipoma removal. Got an infection. Fast forward 5 years, and the owner asked me to come, and I'm working with the dog, but she didn't tell me where the trauma work was, and I got to this one spot, and I was like, oh, okay. And so I was just kind of working, and he turned and looked at me, and just like pure, from what she experienced, like, oh my gosh, I've never seen him look at anybody like that. He just pure trust and like gratitude and just surrender to you for finding that spot and giving him the care he needed there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's cool. So, do you do phone consultations before you bring them in? So, like, I can imagine, so I run Big Bear Animal Rescue Community, which is a Facebook group.
Okay.
I have 4,000 followers.
Wow.
So
Awesome.
I'm a good person to know in the animal world, right?
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking a lot of people just don't want to make a mistake of paying money for something that they wouldn't need
Sure.
that care for. So can people call you and explain their situation?
Absolutely. I take phone calls, conversations like, hey, this is what's going on with my dog. And I'll be like, okay, well, this is what I suggest. And, and if I think the proof is in the pudding, anybody that sits in a client session with their dog and are attuned enough to their dog and watch what's happening, they can see the benefit.
Okay.
For sure.
What's your number?
760-845-0451.
We'll put that on the screen. Anything else you want to share?
I don't think so.
No. Well, good luck with your business in Big Bear.
Thank you for having me.
And I think you're right. It's all about networking.
It is.
And obviously your clients that experience your magic will share, but it's hard to share about illness and pain and suffering and stuff like that, because one person might have success with you and the other person may not have the same experience.
Sure. Yeah.
My vet always will tell me, he goes, Ted, just remember, they can't tell us what's hurting them. You know, they can't tell. Well, for
I
you,
think they do. I
they
think
do.
they do. We're just
Yeah.
not listening.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Megan, for coming by, and thanks for watching Big Bear TV on Big Bear Boulevard. And if you have a business in Big Bear Valley that you want to have be on Big Bear TV, go ahead and reach out to us via the website bigbearcity.com, or you can email me at ted@bigbear.tv. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. All right.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Isn't it? It's kind of like they know me, and I'm like sitting